Target Track is Doppler Systems map-based radio direction finder software, and it can be used for fixed site and mobile direction finding. In this video, I'm going to demonstrate the use of the Doppler Systems mobile radio direction finder to find a transmitter. The transmitter we're using transmits for 10 seconds, followed by 10 seconds of silence. The data I'm presenting was recorded during an actual transmitter hunt, and it's being played back from the database within Target Track. The radio direction finder that we're using is our packaged mobile direction finder. It consists of a direction finding processor, a narrowband FM receiver, a summing assembly, and 4 VHF quarter wave antennas mounted on the roof of our vehicle. If you'd like more information on that, you can see our website at www.dopsys.com, and there will be a description of the direction finder there. So we start by hitting play here, and we'll begin the playback. And right in this area here is where the direction finder starts out, and we're mobile, and you can see it moving along. And we have a signal, which is indicated down here by these green boxes, and they'll tell you they show that the transmissions that are occurring. And every time there's a transmission, then you will see the bearings, and they'll appear on the map. Okay, so we have a fairly good signal there, and you're seeing that. So at that point, we hit the insert key. When we hit the insert key, it saves the bearing and the position on the map. And then the next time that we transmit that that bearing will show back up on the map. And if I hit this button here, I can go a little bit faster. So we'll do a fast forward through some of these. Okay, so stop transmitting. We start transmitting again in 10 seconds. You can hear a little bit of noise on that transmission, and that shows that that wasn't a very good bearing. Normally, when you're mobile direction finding, you'll listen to the signal. If the signal has a lot of noise on it and the bearing is moving around a lot, then it's probably not going to be a very good bearing. So we won't use that bearing in the calculation of the target location. Again, it's a little bit noisy, and you notice that the bearing is moving around quite a lot. Okay, here we have a very good bearing, so we hit the insert key again, and once we hit the insert key, then the program automatically calculates the target, where the target location was, and also an ellipse about the target says there's a 90% probability it's within that ellipse. Okay, we'll move along here. Okay, if you see here, we're driving along, and we'll be driving towards the target, or where we think the target is right now. Notice as we're approaching the target, though, the bearing is veering off to the east. And so it would say that one of the bearings that we took was probably not a real good bearing. So we'll go ahead and keep going here. This is normally what you do. You go out and you drive until you get to a point where you get good bearings throughout, and the program will estimate the location of the target for you as you do that. Again, we have a very good bearing here, so we go ahead and save that site. I'm going to stop this for a second. If you look at this, it's pretty obvious because we drove past this while it was transmitting, and the bearing was off to the east from that, the kind of the southeast of it. And so that would say that these two estimates were probably not the best estimates and may have been taken as a result of a reflection. So in a little bit here, we'll delete one of those because this one in particular is probably the one that's off, and that'll be deleted as we go along here. Now, if this were actual live data, the sites that you see there would not be disappearing. They would stay on the screen so that you could use them as you were driving. Okay. Again, we've got pretty good bearings here, but we didn't get to insert those yet. Okay, right there we inserted another bearing, hit the insert key, and as soon as we do that, it calculates a new target. And at the same time, we also deleted this one that was down here because we felt that it was a poor bearing. Again, if you can hear the bearing has, or the signal has quite a bit of noise on it. In this area that we're driving, there's a number of canyons, so when we go into these canyons, we end up getting poor bearings, and also um, the signal becomes noisy. And that's one thing to always be aware of when you're mobile direction finding, is be aware of your surroundings, make sure that you're not getting reflections, make sure you have a very clear shot at the transmitter. And if you hear noise on the signal, and if you see the bearing varying quite a lot, then you could pretty much know that it's not a good bearing. Again, very noisy signal and a very rapidly changing bearing. So it's not a good, we're in a very bad location there. Okay, we have another bearing here that's coming up that's we're going to save. And you can see that all three of those intersect very close to the location, so we can uh, think that the target's going to be in that location definitely. And notice that we're driving around the target so that we get around the edge of it, or if we go all the way around it, it gives us more bearings and better accuracy. Whenever you're direction finding, it's always good to find the high points and find places where you won't have, no big buildings or large trucks or anything like that, where you won't have any kind of reflections. Okay, we saved another location there. Again, you notice this is a very noisy signal with bearings going all over the place. So it's not we're in a bad location. Right here, actually, we're at the bottom of the hill in a canyon. I'll fast forward to these fairly quickly. Again, notice the bearing changing very rapidly, which just shows that it's a poor bearing. Okay, we had a very good signal there, so we took that bearing and in with the insert key. And right in this area, there's a large hill right in this area, and so we're definitely getting reflections rather than a good signal. Again, the signal's very noisy, and the bearing is moving quite a lot. Okay, we're coming up on the end of the data set right here, so I'll go ahead and move to the next one, and then I'll stop the playback for a bit. Okay, so at this point we've identified where we think the target is. It's in this general location, and we'll go ahead and scroll in on that, and I'll show you where the actual transmitter was. The actual transmitter was right here, so it was just slightly outside of the ellipse. It was right in this general area right here. And so, but it was quite close. And if we would have driven up there, we would have gotten even um, a little bit better estimate of the target location. But this demonstrates how it is that you use the mobile software or the target track software in a mobile, um, using a mobile direction finders. And it always provides a fairly good estimate of where you need to go. So thank you.